Hello and welcome to Lyra Nara. Today's video is titled Dis-Awareness, and this meant to give you hope, to shine a light on the spiritual aspects of going through debilitating chronic diseases such as cancer, on which we will concentrate on today, to show you that life is worth living, that this metaphysical spiritual aspect is crucial for combating any condition, and to just give you hope in your fight, if you want to call it that, in your experience of going through a chronic, debilitating, probably or likely deadly in the end, such as cancer. So let's shine a light on the spiritual aspect of things and let's live life together. And I wanted to point out before I dive right into the subject that this video is not about the pictures, it's about the message, so you might just relax, close your eyes and let it play in the background. So this awareness indicates that basically the real cause of cancer is related unto your death wish. The cancer conditions are prevalent in most human beings, but the bodies of those who wish to continue living, who have enthusiasms for life, and who are loving and feel loved, these bodies generally are too healthy for cancerous conditions to gain control of their cells. And this awareness suggests that essentially the death wish is that which is the culprit. That this death wish can be very subtle, and often humans have mixed feelings and do not even realize they have had a death wish within them. And this awareness indicates that this can often be caused by a rejection of one who was loved, by the loss of a loved one, by the feeling to be unloved and unwanted or rejected. And in this kind of attitude, the cancerous condition can begin to grow. And this awareness indicates also that even after the situation changes and the individual finds new desire for life and new hope, the condition which began earlier may have gained a kind of foothold in the body and may continue having its negative effects. In such a situation, the patient is now wishing to live, but having cancer must go through a strong mental and emotional cleansing in order to throw off that cancerous condition which was invited in during that period when the death wish was felt. And this awareness indicates that there have been many beings who have had cancer and have healed themselves, simply by the sheer will to be well. This awareness also indicates that the mind is the builder, and wherein one can accept a healing, half of the battle is won already. The body tends to follow the directions of the mind. This awareness, it suggests that wherein patients are convinced that there is no hope, then the situation follows that conviction. And this awareness indicates that essentially the death wish is with that which begins affecting the cells of the body to inform them as how to function, thus affecting the metabolism by creating certain attitudes within each cell as to what its function is. And the attitudes within each cell, reflecting the attitude of the individual, can emanate a poisonous effect on those energies runabout, or can emanate a healthy effect depending on the attitude. And this awareness indicates that when an individual has a healthy attitude, a love for life, does not feel overstressed or overworked to the point of despair or wishing to throw in the towel, this awareness indicates that the cells feel likewise. And their orders from headquarters or from your subconscious mind are to repair themselves when given the opportunity, when given the proper nourishment, and to rest and restore themselves as much as is possible under the circumstances. This awareness indicates, however, whenever the individual's attitude is such that no one cares for me, I have no purpose in life, I might as well simply die, and he or she begins wishing to die, whether consciously or subconsciously, the cells, then having received their message from headquarters, so to speak, begin carrying out their orders. Self-destruct, self-destruct, self-destruct. It's time to self-destruct. And whatever energies are brought in a sustenance food or nourishment is simply poisoned or rejected on the orders from headquarters. This awareness indicates that once the cells have the action in motion, then the entire system begins shutting down its life force activities of whether the entity is eating this food or that, regardless of what is occurring. The cells are responding to the direct orders from headquarters. This awareness also indicates if those orders have not changed by an equal or greater intensity from headquarters or from your subconscious mind, then the cells will continue their destructive action. This awareness indicates, for example, if the headquarters sends forth an extremely volatile and highly charged emotional message with an amplitude, so a force of, let's say, 144 or more, that states this person wishes to die, the cells then, carrying out this intense, highly amplified message, will not respond and reverse their action until an equal or greater message comes through. And the headquarters then may send forth a message like, "Oh my God, I'm dying from cancer, I don't really want to do this." This awareness indicates if this message is at an amplitude of 140, to stay with our example in comparison to the previous message of 144, the cancer will continue, although it will be greatly reduced in speed. This awareness indicates that if, however, the individual's message in terms of emotional amplitude is, "Oh my God, I am dying from cancer, I do not wish to do this, I have made a mistake and I want to live." And if this amplitude is of greater level than the 144 from our example, for example 150, let's say, the energies then may be such that the entity begins to improve, and if this amplitude can be continued, the improvement will continue. This awareness indicates, however, if the individual's amplitude is of 200, for example, there may be a miraculous cure whereby the cancer begins to diminish rapidly. Let's also talk about faith and fear, because this awareness indicates that in understanding the power of the mind in healing the body, people must also understand the nature of the amplitude or volume of emotions and the accompanying faith. If one simply has an emotion of wanting to live but accepts death through the message of fear, whereby the mind sends a message to the cells like, "Oh my God, I have cancer and the death rate of this disease is almost certain," this awareness indicates that even though this amplitude may have topped the original amplitude which caused the disease, all this message does is to reinforce to the cells that they have started a process of shutting down, leading to death, and now they are to become aware of the danger of the action and that this is almost certain. This awareness indicates that cells then, recognizing that the action of shutting down and proceeding toward death is following directions, and new directions have been given which state that it is almost certain that mission will be completed. And this awareness indicates the fact that there is a fear accompanying the message does not inform the cells that they are to stop the action. This awareness indicates, however, when there is a message from the headquarters, or your subconscious mind, stating that the action which was started must be stopped at all costs, then no further movement in that direction shall be allowed, and any cell continuing this type of action will be reprimanded. This awareness indicated then the cells have a clear and direct message. And this awareness indicates if the message is consistent and of a higher amplitude than the original message, the cells recognize and receive the orders from headquarters, your subconscious and conscious mind, and know that the orders have been changed and that reverse action must occur. This awareness indicates that when the cells receive the message that everything is going to be alright and repair is occurring, the cells are beginning to reverse the action and health is being restored to the system. This awareness indicates this created an enthusiasm among the cells who feel that great, we don't have to self-destruct after all, and the cells begin working even more excitedly in the healing process therefore. And just as with all other chronic conditions, we must take a holistic view. Because this awareness indicates that the action of herbs, vitamins, minerals, and nutrients upon the cell is much like giving medicine to children or to persons, whereby the faith is enhanced along with the nutrient that is given. It may be nothing more than water, but if the child is told this is magic water which will heal you, and if the child believes this to be so, then the child accepts the healing which is to follow, and the cells are directed by the headquarters thought to become healed. This awareness indicates that therefore the proper medicine, while being more beneficial than mere water or a placebo, can nourish and help recovery of the cells. The antidote for any poison can counter that poison. This awareness indicates that while this is true, still there are other factors in healing which do not depend strictly on the medicine involved, or other factors which depend upon the attitude which is being administered along with the medicine. And this awareness indicates that the faith accompanied by the medicine is that which is the best combination. This awareness indicates that the American Medical Association was made aware of the fact that faith was part of the healing process and publicly announced this after an experiment whereby a certain medicine which had been used for healing a certain illness successfully for several years was proven to be worthless. The Medical Association had to acknowledge that the success which occurred was the result of faith in medicine rather than the medicine itself. The subconscious mind is your feeling mind, so to say, where you feel on all levels you want to live, which is far more powerful, by the way, than at the conscious mind level where you have the thought, I want to live. In other words, your deep feelings on whether you want to live or not, deep down, have a greater effect on whether you continue to self-destruct or not than simple conscious level thoughts. The impression might have given that a person could jar at the subconscious into reversing the self-destruct affirmation if the individual became so enraged, so indignant at the whole idea of dying from the death wish that he stomped on the floor, shouted and hollered, beat on the wall, and commanded his or her body to live, that this kind of activities, when repeated and repeated every day, were sufficient enough amplitude to cause a reversal of that message which had been telling the cells to self-destruct. And we understand that cancer is a topic that is hotly contested. It is a sore point for humanity, and there is much misunderstanding about why you have this, why you endure this, and how you can help to create lives around, through, with, and get over this illness. Cancer is a mechanism that is natural actually within the body. It is not an ogre or a demon. It has not been sent to humanity as a punishment. It is simply a mechanism within the body that rises and falls as blood sugar rises, as blood sugar falls. The body is designed for this. The body understands that it moves from peaks to troughs and in order to find its own homeostasis. And when cancer takes hold and forms what you call a tumor, there has been a break in this homeostasis of the body, and there has been a rising without a fall. Our hope and belief are that each of you, as you read this and listen to this information, will take away something that will help you return to balance. That may even provide you with a breakthrough to help your body achieve better levels of this homeostasis that we speak about. So wake up. Understanding that the body simply moves in cycles is crucial. There will be risings and falls in every system. There are days when you can be said to have cancer, or days when you can be free of cancer, that you will feel better in body and feel worse in body. There are days where muscles work better and muscles work less, whether you have had a diagnosis or not, for example. This is simply the process of homeostasis. We say that the body can always come back from cancer. It is just a matter of extent. The body itself requires you to do just one thing: listen to its needs. So how do you do this? Where have you gone? The answer in your language is into your heads. We ask you to ascertain, are you in this life? You can only do that by being, firstly, within your body, being in your life. You can't escape it until you leave it, unless you move into your mind, the head. And this is the first mechanism of death. It is a statement to your spirit that you wish to live. Now, this may not be your intention, of course. Your intention might simply be that you want to have a better car, to be richer, to be wiser, to be thinner, to be more youthful, to be stronger. What is misunderstood is that often, if these desires do not come from within your soul, they activate the first part of your defense mechanism against living, which is exiting life. And there are those for whom the exit clause is a stronger pull than the living clause. You see, understand that when the body has manifested its first defense against living, there is a strength of connection towards the exit. So the strength of connection towards living needs to be at least a match to that. And this can be determined by, in some cases, the progression of the illness. For some, it is a train that cannot be stopped, and they blame the body, they blame the medication, but really the connection to the exit is too strong. For many of these people, those are the people who simply accept the situation and understand that the end is nigh. For others, the change in the body, the diagnosis, the connection to the exit is enough for wake up, an opportunity to have a personal revolution, and for some, this will mean that conventional treatment will be effective. For the wake up has occurred and the connection to life has been re-established. These people, these individuals, may in their choices choose other means too. Alternative means, natural means, they will all work because they've woken up. It's also important to remember that the means of recovery is not what is important. It is the strength of connection to living and to exiting. We would prefer to use exit in this context rather than death, for there is no death. There is only death of a temporary form, so we will continue to use the word exit instead. And lots of you think that your body has hurt you, your body has abandoned you. Some of you may think that spirit has hurt you, spirit has abandoned you. There cannot be no abandoning from spirit. It is always right beside you, and we are at the end of every exit. We wish you to understand that cancer seems to hit hardest those of you who are devoid of the reality of life, which is birth, living, and death, of course. And this is important, for it is usually those who have become lost in life, meaning they live in their heads, that can be hit with cancer. You are eternal, and your life here is temporary. So there is a forgetting of your eternal spiritual nature, and often a diagnosis such as cancer gives you an opportunity to remember that this earthly life is only partly real. Bodies, however, can get tired. So the real question is for all of you, will you, in life, wake up to yourself? Waking up to yourself in life means honoring the form you have, honoring the wishes and desires that are truly yours, not your parents, not society's, and not your peer groups. Will you allow yourself to live whilst alive, or will you remove yourself from your reality and create a life that has no nourishment for you in it? This is a punishment for the body, and the body will simply respond with consequences such as pain, illness, sadness, despair, and death. Through your choices, it is impossible for the body to restore its balance. The physical death that many of you are fearful of, we prefer to call it exit, as we've mentioned already, as we have explained. But fear of death can be fear of death of form, of status, of job, of a partner, of wealth, of funding, of size. We could go on and on. This fear of death of form in the physical world leads to a fear of life. And being fearful of life opens the connection to the exit. So what is being fearful of forms of life? Well, it is simply an expression of being devoid of an authentic connection to self. Sometimes you are fearful of losing something which is outside of yourself. For example, many people fear losing their homes or their jobs. What happens if someone does lose their home? The mind, of course, equates this loss with death, yet the body will not die. The mind equates this fear of losing career with death, yet the body will not die. However, a connection is open to death, for effectively it is what you are choosing in that moment. Put enough fears together and you will feel the effects of it on your functioning. The body will become heightened, unable to relax, unable to have pleasure for itself, and when this happens, over time, the body will become tired. And whilst this is an experience that a body can have, it is meant for short periods of time only. The body in heightened stress states for long periods of time was not designed for, and therefore it is unable to return to its balance. This is what perpetual states of fear produce within the body. These states start off as more minor imbalances, more minor in that they may affect only your digestive organs or only your skin. Certainly, they do affect your cognitive functioning and the ability to hold focus. It takes a lot to manifest a mess that you would call cancer. And do you know that many of you do simply not know how to live life? And this is not meant as an insult, but life is equated with nowadays is an automatic functioning which feels like a death of the spirit. It is an alarm clock in the morning, a shower followed by something to eat, followed by a hard day at the office, followed by television, alcohol, and then eventually rest and hit repeat again. This is life of sort, but living in its fullest extent is the unfoldment of self into the physical environment. This can happen through enjoyment, but most importantly, this can happen through connection to everything in life. It means switching off your autopilot. Hear your alarm. If you don't like it, choose another one. If you hate it, go to bed earlier so you can wake without one. It is about engaging with everything that is before you and assessing, do I really want this in my life? Similarly, be aware of everything you choose to expose yourself to. You are a sensory being. You have your five senses, yet many people expose themselves to sensory material that is fashionable rather than allowing the spirit to unfold and enjoy itself in. And courage is also the unfoldment of spirit through love, beauty, and truth. And if you don't like the fact that the mechanism to take you to your exit has kicked off, connect to the opposite side, which is life. There are times in life where you are given bad news or bad life events happen to you. And by bad, we mean that which you wouldn't choose consciously. But recognize this is part of the process of learning to be happy, healthy, balanced as a human being. Remember that you have not exited yet, and for as long as there is life within, you are life itself, so live. The best thing about cancer is that it shouts loudest of all. Wake up! What life means to an individual at one time can be different from the next time. Connect with who you are at the time and give yourself what it is that you need. Recognize, though, that if you have opened a mechanism to exit, you have not been giving yourself what you need for a sustained time. There must be as many connections to life, at least, as there was to the mechanism that kicked off the exit. And many give up on this and think, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this. Oh look, the doctor told me that I'm still dying. The reality is that you are dying anyway. Everyone is. You only have one exit, we all do, but you can oversee the quality of how you live while you are alive, and this may be enough to disable the mechanism towards the exit. What individuals diagnosed with cancer fail to understand is that they have taken away life from themselves, and the body simply responded. Understand that the body did not let you down, neither did you deliberately choose cancer. There was something happening in your life to the point of diagnosis, and perhaps to this point today, that opened up the mechanism of exit. And with that, I would like to close this presentation. I hope that it was able to help you along and give you hope and the will to live. You've seen how important the mental, the spiritual, the faith side of the healing process is. If you have further questions, do not hesitate to contact us. shop@lyranara.com. Complete contact information, including our toll-free phone numbers, in the description box below. And with all that being said, stay healthy.